You think your biggest problem is outside, your situation, your environment, other people. But the truth is, your biggest resistance is inside your own head, your brain. And the crazy part? It's not broken. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do. That's the problem. Your brain is not built to make you successful. It's built to keep you safe. And safe is the opposite of growth. Now think about this. Every time you want to do something new, something bigger, something uncomfortable, what happens? You don't feel excited for long. Very quickly, something else kicks in. Doubt, overthinking, hesitation. That's not random. That's your brain stepping in, trying to protect you. Now here's the truth most people don't understand. Your brain sees uncertainty as danger, not logically, biologically. Anything unknown, anything unpredictable gets flagged as a risk. So when you think about changing your life, starting something, taking a step forward, your brain reacts like you're doing something dangerous, even if you're not. Now let that sink in. You're not fighting the world. You're fighting your own programming. Now let me ask you something honestly. How many times did you want to do something, and your mind immediately gave you reasons not to? It's not the right time. You need more preparation. What if it doesn't work? That sounds logical, smart. But look closer. All of those thoughts lead to the same result. No action. That's your brain winning. Now here's something deeper. Your brain is incredibly efficient. It wants to save energy, so it builds patterns, habits, routines. Because repeating the same thing requires less effort than changing something. So every time you try to break a pattern, your brain resists. Not because it's wrong, because it's inefficient. Now think about how crazy that is. You're trying to improve your life, and your brain is like, no, stay where you are. It's easier. Now here's the brutal part. If you don't understand this, you will always think the problem is you. I'm lazy. I have no discipline. I can't stay consistent. No, your brain is just doing its job, and you're letting it run the show. Now let's make it practical, because this is where most people stay stuck. They understand it, but they don't change anything. So here's what you need to do. First, stop trusting every thought you have. Not every thought is truth. Some thoughts are just protection mechanisms. If a thought leads to an action, question it immediately. Second, act faster. Don't give your brain time to build resistance, because the longer you think, the more excuses appear. Action cuts that off. Third, get used to discomfort. Not once, repeatedly. Because the more you expose yourself to uncomfortable situations, the less your brain reacts to them. You train it. Now here's the reality. If you keep listening to your brain's first reaction, you will stay exactly where you are, comfortable, predictable, stuck. And if you're okay with that, fine. But if you're not, then you need to understand something clearly. Your brain is not your boss. It's a tool. And right now, it's controlling you, instead of the other way around. Here's where it gets real. Your brain doesn't just protect you. It tricks you. It makes bad decisions feel logical. That's the dangerous part, because you don't even notice it. Now think about this. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Sounds reasonable, right? But what actually happens? Nothing. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes soon. That's not planning. That's delay in disguise. And your brain is very good at disguising it. Now let me ask you something. How many times did you delay something important, and it felt justified in the moment? Exactly. That's your brain working against you. Now here's something deeper. Your brain prefers immediate reward over long-term gain. Always. Scrolling, watching, doing easy things. Those give instant feedback, instant dopamine. But real progress? That's slow. No instant reward. No quick satisfaction. So your brain naturally pulls you toward the easier option. Not because it's better, because it's faster. Now here's the brutal truth. If you don't control that, you will always choose short-term comfort over long-term results. Every time. Now think about your daily decisions. How often do you choose what feels good now, instead of what actually moves you forward? Be honest, because that pattern is exactly why people stay stuck. Now let's get practical again, because understanding this alone does nothing. You need control. First, you need to recognize the moment. That exact moment where your brain says, do it later. That's the signal. Not to wait, to act. immediately. Second, remove easy options. If distraction is always available, you will use it. So make it harder. Put distance between you and things that waste your time. Third, lower the barrier. Your brain resists big tasks. So don't start big. Start small. But start, because starting breaks resistance. Now here's something most people won't do. They'll hear this, agree with it, and then go right back to the same behavior. Because change requires effort. And effort is exactly what your brain avoids. Now let me be direct. If you keep letting your brain choose what's easy, you will never reach anything meaningful. That's not motivation. That's fact. Now here's the shift. You need to separate yourself from your thoughts. Just because you think something doesn't mean you follow it. You observe it, then decide. That's control. Now think about this. Right now, your brain is running patterns that you didn't choose consciously. Habits, reactions, defaults. And if you don't interrupt those, they will keep running your life automatically. Now here's the question. Are you actually in control? Or are you just following what your brain suggests? Because there's a difference. And most people never make that switch. Let's make something very clear. Your brain is not just reacting, it's predicting. And most of your behavior comes from patterns it already knows. That's why you keep repeating the same things. Same habits, same reactions, same decisions. Not because you want to, because your brain is running what's familiar. Now think about this. When something feels natural, what does that actually mean? It means you've done it before, many times. So your brain makes it easy, automatic, effortless. Now flip that. When something feels hard, awkward, uncomfortable, that means it's new, unfamiliar, and your brain resists it. So what do most people do? They go back to what feels natural, even if that natural behavior is exactly what keeps them stuck. Now let me ask you something honestly. How many times did you go back to old habits, even though you knew they don't help you? That's not lack of discipline. That's your brain choosing the familiar path. Now here's the dangerous part. Your brain doesn't care if the habit is good or bad. It only cares if it's repeated. So if you repeat bad patterns long enough, they become easy, automatic, and breaking them feels almost impossible. Now think about how serious that is. You can literally train yourself to stay stuck without even noticing it. Now let's go deeper. Your brain also exaggerates effort. It makes things feel harder than they are. Before you even start, you think, this is going to take too long. This is too much. I'm not ready for this. But once you actually start, it's never as bad as you imagined. That's your brain trying to stop you before you begin. Now here's something practical you can use. When something feels too much, that's your signal. Not to stop, to start small, immediately. Because action corrects perception, thinking distorts it. Now here's another thing your brain does. It creates identity. It tells you, this is just who you are. I'm not disciplined. I'm not consistent. I'm not that type of person. And once you believe that, you stop trying. Because now it feels fixed. But that's not truth. That's repetition. You became that way by doing the same things over and over, which means you can change it by doing something different. Now here's the brutal truth. If you keep acting like the same person, you will get the same results. That's it. No surprise. No magic change. Now let me ask you something direct. Do your actions match the person you want to be, or the person you've been? Because that gap is everything. Now here's what you do. First, interrupt patterns. The moment you notice yourself going into autopilot, pause. Change something. Anything. Second, don't negotiate with your brain. If you decide something, do it. No discussion. Because the moment you start negotiating, your brain will win. Third, repeat the new behavior. Not once. Again and again. Until it becomes natural. Now here's the reality. This is not about motivation. It's about control. And control is built through repeated action, not thinking. Now think about this. Right now, you are either reinforcing old patterns or building new ones. There is no neutral. Every action counts. Every decision shapes you. And if you don't take control, your brain will keep running the same script. Over and over and over. Let's stop talking Elgamine. This is about you. Because right now, your brain already knows how to control you. It knows exactly when you're weak, when you hesitate, when you choose comfort. And it uses that every time. Now think about your day. Not perfect. Real. Where do you lose control? Morning? Scrolling instead of starting? During the day? Avoiding things you know you should do? Evening? Telling yourself, I'll do it tomorrow? Those moments. That's where your brain wins. Not in big decisions. In small ones. Now let me ask you something real. How often do you break your own word? You say you'll do something, and then you don't. No one stops you. No one blocks you. You just don't. That's not a time problem. That's not a knowledge problem. That's control. And right now, you're losing it in small moments. Now here's where it hits. Every time you don't follow through, you teach your brain something. That was optional. That didn't matter. And next time, it becomes even easier to skip. That's how people lose discipline. Not instantly. Gradually. Now think about this. If someone else treated your promises like that, you wouldn't trust them. But you do it to yourself. Every day, and expect confidence? That doesn't work. Now here's the truth. Confidence doesn't come from thinking. It comes from proof. Proof that you do what you say. And right now, your brain has proof that you don't. So it doesn't take you seriously. Now let me be direct. You are not controlled by your brain. Because it's stronger. You're controlled. Because you keep giving in. That's it. Now think about this. Every time you feel resistance, you have two options. Follow it, or push through it. And most of the time, you already know what you choose. Because pushing through is uncomfortable, and comfort is easier. Now here's something you need to understand. Your brain is trained by repetition. So if you keep choosing comfort, you become someone who avoids effort. Automatically, without thinking. Now let me ask you something honestly. Do your actions show discipline? Or do they show patterns of avoidance? Because that answer is your reality. Not what you say, not what you want, what you do. Now here's what you need to change. First, catch the moment. That exact second, where you're about to choose the easy option. That's where control exists. Second, act against it. Not sometimes. Every time. Because one action is nothing. Repetition is everything. Third, stop making deals with yourself. No, just this once. No, I'll do it later. Because that's how the pattern resets. Now here's the brutal part. If you don't fix this, nothing else matters. Not your goals, not your plans, not your ideas. Because your brain will sabotage all of it. Every time. Now think about this. You don't need a better plan. You need better control over your actions. That's it. And until that changes, everything stays the same. Let's be real now. Not motivational real. Actual real. You already know what you should be doing. You do. This is not new to you. You've thought about it. You've planned it. You've even said it out loud. So why aren't you doing it? Not sometimes. Consistently. Because this is where most people lie. They say, I don't know what to do. No. You know. You just don't do it. And that's a completely different problem. Now here's where it hits. You are watching yourself waste time. And you're aware of it. That's the worst part. You're not unconscious. You see it happening. You feel that moment where you think, I should be doing something else right now. And still, you don't move. That's your brain in control. Not because it's stronger, because you keep letting it win. Now think about how serious that is. You're not being stopped. You're not blocked. You're not forced. You're choosing this. Right now. Every day. Now let me ask you something direct. If someone gave you a camera and recorded your entire day, your real actions, not what you say, what you actually do, would you be proud of it? Or would you realize how much time you waste? Be honest. Because that answer is your reality. Now here's the brutal truth. You don't have a motivation problem. You don't have a discipline problem. You have a decision problem. Because in every moment, you decide, easy or necessary, comfort or progress. And most of the time, you already know what you pick. Now here's something deeper. Your brain has learned that you don't follow through. So it doesn't even take your intentions seriously anymore. You say, I'll start. Your brain goes, no you won't. Because history proves it. Now let that sink in. You've trained your own mind not to trust you. And then you wonder why nothing changes. Now here's the shift. You don't fix this with motivation. You fix it with proof. Small actions. Repeated. Done even when you don't feel like it. That's how you rebuild control. Now let me be clear. This is not about being perfect. This is about stopping the pattern. Because right now, you're stuck in a loop. Think, plan, delay, repeat, and that loop is your real enemy. Now here's the uncomfortable question. How much longer are you going to keep doing this? A week? A month? Another year? Because time is moving anyway, and you're either building something, or you're repeating the same cycle. Now here's the truth. If you don't break this, nothing changes. Not your life, not your results, not your situation. Because your brain will keep choosing easy. Every time. Now let me ask you one last thing. Be honest. Are you actually trying to take control? Or are you just hoping something changes? Because those are two completely different things. And your life right now shows the answer. At this point, you can't say you don't understand it. You know exactly what's happening. You see the pattern. You feel it every day. So let's stop pretending this is about knowledge. It's not. It's about control. And right now, your brain is running your life. Not because it's stronger than you. Because you never took control back. Now think about this carefully. Every time you follow the easy option, you're voting for the same life. Every time you delay, you're confirming the same pattern. Every time you ignore what you know you should do, you're reinforcing it. This is not random. This is built by you. Now here's the part that hits. You don't need a new strategy. You don't need better ideas. You need to stop betraying your own decisions. That's it. Because every time you say, I'll do it, and don't, you weaken yourself. And your brain learns something very simple. This person doesn't follow through. So next time, it doesn't even try to push you. It just goes straight to comfort. Now let that sink in. You trained your own mind to keep you average. Now here's the truth. Your brain will never suddenly change. It will always try to go the easy way. Always. So if you keep listening to it blindly, you already know where you'll end up. Same habits, same results, same life. Now ask yourself something real. If nothing changes, and you keep living like this for the next 5 years, what does that look like? Not what you hope, what your current actions are building. Because that's your direction. Right now? Now here's the shift. You don't beat your brain by thinking more. You beat it through action. Simple, immediate, non-negotiable action. The moment you feel resistance, that's the moment that matters. That's where the decision is made. Not later. Not after you think about it. Right there. Now let me make it very clear. You will never feel ready. You will never feel fully motivated. You will never feel perfectly prepared. That moment does not exist. So if you're waiting for it, you're wasting time. Now here's the final truth. Control is not a feeling. It's a behavior. You act, even when you don't feel like it. You move, even when it's uncomfortable. You follow through, even when your brain tells you not to. That's control, and that's what you've been avoiding. Now everything comes down to one thing. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, next decision, next action. Do you follow the same pattern, or do you break it? Because that one moment decides everything, and you already know which option is harder. So the real question is simple. Are you finally going to take control? Or are you going to keep letting your brain decide for you?